Hi, welcome to day 2 of Personal Development 101 with Sheila Trask. Yesterday I talked about personal development and what it is, and I described it as your key to self-awareness. And self-awareness is actually key to personal development for you. So the whole process of self-awareness is what's going to give you good personal growth. And personal growth will improve your life in terms of your relationships and your jobs, etc. I also talked about paradigms and what a paradigm actually is. And I invited you to think of yourselves as a package, a collective being, a package filled with all kinds of habits, good and bad, positive and negative, but everything who you are, all packaged up together with a bow, represents you. And each of us is unique. So in terms of personal development, we need to unwrap the package, take off the bow, unwrap the package, get very raw and vulnerable, and that's how we become self-aware. So personal growth, if you want to think about what it actually is and what it's going to mean for you, it's about you creating a path to get towards your personal goals, whatever they may be in life. Today, I want to talk to you about self-love. The importance of self-love is that nothing you do in life will be done in a positive way if you do not love yourself, because you will operate out of fear. If every time you go to make a decision or you think a thought and you're about to take action on that, you might want to say to yourself, am I doing this out of love or am I doing this out of fear? And that is a very, very important question in terms of your self-awareness. When we do things out of love and we behave in a loving manner, we are more likely to act positively. Then we are doing things that are not only going to affect other people in a positive way, but it's certainly going to affect us in a positive way. Because as you know, what you put out in the world comes back to you. That's karma. Karma is not about punishment. Karma is about the law of attraction, which is you attract to yourself whatever you put out. So if you're angry, you're going to attract more things that will make you feel angry. How you perceive the world will be through your lens of anger. That's why it's really important for you to develop the self-love, which will give you the lens of love that will help you develop yourself and become more self-aware. The most important person in terms of learning self-love is Louise Hay. Sorry about my finger. Anyway, Louise Hay wrote this book, You Can Heal Your Life. This is the most life-changing book for people who have never done any form of personal development. And actually, even if you do read other books and do other things, if you don't have the basis of the teachings of Louise Hay on self-love, you're not going anywhere. Because self-love is the core of personal development. And not everyone will tell you that. I recommend everyone read Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life, the very first book that you should read. From that book, you will understand the importance of self-love. You will understand that being loving, despite what has happened in your life, will open you up to a much better life. If you don't have self-love, you're not going to be able to love other people. And other people are not going to be able to love you because you're not going to be putting love out. We have to be what it is we're trying to behave like. So if you've heard of I am, I am love, people say that because you have to be love in order to act lovingly. So I just want to remind you that we are born into love, but we don't always know it. And our upbringings can impact us in many ways. And it may not always be our parents or our families, even though they are the first important people in our lives who help shape how we feel about ourselves. But then it moves on, and that's a conversation for another day. But what I do want you to understand is that everything you approach in life, you want to approach it from the perspective of self-love. And you may not fully feel that because of the fact, I'm just going to give you a few things that you may have heard growing up. Don't be so selfish. So what is that telling you? It's telling you not to think about yourself, right? So if we're always being conscious of that, we're always going to put ourselves last, which means we don't love ourselves enough, but we should be loving ourselves first and foremost. This was a huge challenge for me. So have you ever heard the expression, who do you think you are? Who do you think you are means, oh, you're acting like it's okay for you to be this way, or you think you're like this. But really, who do you think you're not? When people say things like that to you, it's about them, it's not about you. But we don't know that growing up. Another one is, she thinks she's it, or he thinks he's it. Well, guess what? The person who's saying that, they're the one who thinks that person is it. And what that means is that they don't have a lot of self-love themselves. So they're projecting that onto another person who's displaying probably some positive traits of possible self-love. And they're thinking that that's wrong. So it doesn't mean people are good or bad. It just means that people think the way they do because of their upbringing and their environments. And that's all it is. So I want to conclude this lesson today with some thoughts that I wrote with regards to Louise Hay in the beginning, because I've read her book several times. And I'll talk to you about that later as well, how it's important for you to read repetition, repetition, repetition. I believe that everything begins with self-love. It is the number one issue to work on. I wrote that 7 years ago when I first realized how important it was. Louise Hay talks about your thoughts. And she said it's important to control your thoughts in terms of self-love. So this affirmation, I love and approve of myself just as I am. I started saying that on a daily basis. I literally was repeating it over and over again. If I was putting gasoline in my car, I'm standing up and in my head, I'm going, I love and approve of myself just as I am. I love and approve of myself just as I am. I was trying to impregnate my mind with the thoughts of self-love. Your thoughts impact your beliefs. Everything that you believe is a thought that you have habitually repeated over and over and over in your head, and now you believe it. Your beliefs may not be true. They're just thoughts that you repeat in your head. Now, some beliefs are true, but if you were to truly examine your beliefs, you would find out that most of them are not true. So I use this affirmation. I am good. I am kind. I am loving. That affirmation gave me reassurance that no matter what I heard when I was growing up, that I was better than that I was more than that, because I had to convince myself of that because I didn't believe that. And the third thing is actions. Your thoughts develop your beliefs. And what we do is we act based on our beliefs. So our actions, in order to control our actions, we want to be consciously aware of our thoughts so that we can control our beliefs and impact our actions. So what I started thinking about was, I want to act good, kind, loving. And if I'm going to act in a good, kind, loving manner, I must be that person. That's the person that I want to be. And that's the person that I work on every day. And that's the person that you want to become. Because collectively, we're here for each other. We are one, connected to everything here in the universe. And that's it for today. Always be grateful.